Hello my friends and welcome. Let's go for the latest update from Ukraine. Here the situation near to Novoprokopivka village. There is the Novoprokopivka village itself, and here are the Russian defense lines that Ukrainian army tries to penetrate before reaching that village. Russia accumulated thousands of the soldiers in that region, so they regularly put them into those trenches. As you can see, judging from the holes, Ukraine uses the artillery systems all the time. This is the fragment of the video filmed on the drone that is fully available on my Telegram channel. Sorry guys, I cannot post it on my YouTube channel, but nevertheless I'll show you the screenshots. So the aim for Ukrainian army is to go forward, obviously, but firstly we need to cut those defense lines that Russia posted over there. The Russian defense lines are mixed. Sometimes they're on an open field and sometimes they lie with the border of the forest lines. It is much harder to spot the Russian vehicles or infantry in those trees, but it will not last forever. Soon there's gonna be late autumn, so the leaves will fall down and everything will be more or less open. And this is the regular job of Ukrainian artillery in that sector that I just showed to you. The breakthrough is only possible after all of those Russian trenches will be cleared of the Russian soldiers. If you want to check it on the military map, it is somewhere over here, just in front of Novoprokopivka village. The main defense lines have already been passed by Ukrainian army, but there are many more between the Ukrainian positions and the Novoprokopivka village. Today Russia tried to assault again on Ukrainian positions in Ruzzia, Donetsk Oblast, and they lost some of the armored vehicles and tanks. For the attacking side, it's always much harder compared to the defending side, as we see on this war. And this is how the Russian tanks were targeted in Ruzzia. Yes, mostly Ukraine uses the FPV drones for that. They are more precise than the majority of the artillery systems, so we may deliver the shell just into the armored vehicle of the Russian Federation, but our enemy also uses the FPV drones to target our vehicles. Sometimes just after one hit, the Russian crew leaves the machine, so Ukraine gets almost fully airworthy, I would say, Russian tank. The Ukrainian army still has many of the Leopard 2 tanks, and we are waiting for more Leopard 1 tanks, and as we know, Abrams tanks has already arrived to Ukraine. What is very interesting about this tank, that the Contact 1 explosives armor was mounted on it. It is quite useless against the modern tank shells, but it might help in case of the drone attack, including the Lancet drone. As it was recorded, Lancets already damaged 3 of the Leopard 2 tanks. My friends, before we go to the other news, let me tell you about the partner and the sponsor of my channel. Yes, as usual, it is the Atlas VPN, and you may have the awesome deal especially made for my subscribers, where you may get the Atlas VPN Premium for just $170 per month, plus you will have 6 months for free, and it is the best deal from all of the premium VPNs out there. It has military encryption standards, strongly securing your data and your devices from being reached by government, unwanted ads, and also hackers. Yes, you may say, hackers, why do they need my account? Well, actually, my friends, I got personal experience that my pilot blog channel dedicated to aviation was hacked. Then I was using public Wi-Fi. All of my videos were deleted, and after that hackers told me to send Bitcoin for them and they will open access to my own account. I didn't transfer anything and just started the new channel with the same name. And obviously after that case I use the VPN all of the time, and for me personally Atlas VPN is the best VPN out there. It has a security breach device monitoring feature, so it alerts me that someone tries to reach my device. Then I use the public Wi-Fi. Then I see that message, I disconnect from that public Wi-Fi. Atlas VPN is very fast. It guarantees you the best streaming connection, then you watch movies on Netflix. And also by changing your virtual location, you may get access to watch all of the movies, all of the series on Netflix platform. It helped me a lot. And now, my friends, please check out my personal link or scan the QR code available on the screen, where you may get the Atlas VPN Premium for just $170 per month, plus you'll have 6 months for free. This deal is astonishing and is made especially for my followers, so hurry up to join the club. So this is the Russian Sukhoi Su-35 that they lost near to Tokmak. Finally, we have the confirmation filmed on the drone. As it was reported, pilot didn't survive this accident. Why accident? Because Russia accidentally hit the own airplane with S-300 missile. I was really shocked to see this video. So Ukrainian soldier just cuts the artillery shell that the United States supplies to Ukrainian army. It is not the standard shell, this is the cluster munition. But later on I understood that they want to extract the cluster units to use them on the drones. I wonder why. Because there are many of the other tools that could be mounted to the drones, like grenades or any kind of the small explosive devices. But to cut the artillery shell, I wonder why. Nevertheless, we have tons of those videos how Ukraine drops the grenades and other stuff on the Russian vehicles and Russian army. I am unable to show them to you on this platform. Ukraine also started to use the improvised grills on the infantry carrying vehicles. For example, this Max Pro has the protection on the top. It may only help against the drone attacks like FPU drones or the drops from the drones. A very unique Russian radar was kaboomed with the help of the drones. The name of it is Radar 55G6U Nebo U. This radar is used to identify the flying objects with ballistic and not trajectory on middle and high altitude, so probably it wasn't able to identify the drone which was flying at quite a low altitude. The range is from 80 up to 600 kilometers, so this is a very unique system. The modernized versions of it were produced since 2017, so quite a new feature for the Russian army. Russians even say that it may detect the stealth airplanes. Wow, but I'll never trust them in this stuff. So at first we had the satellite image and later on our drone flown and dropped some of the presents on this station. The antenna was rotating, it means that this tool was working. Alright, Russia came out with a new feature to protect their strategic aviation. They start to draw the silhouette of their airplanes on the apron, so you can see that it's just the picture over here, and this is the real airplane with the tires on the top. This is also the fake one. They should draw the tires on the top of those pictures for them to be more realistic. Plus, they need to draw the shadow on the floor. Quite a bad news here, my friends. One more Ukrainian convoy. The train was targeted by the Russian aviation gliding bomb. We may see just the armored tracks in this train, so no armored vehicles, no tanks, but those tracks are quite crucial for Ukrainian army because they are used in supplies. Russia targeted this train. I'm unable to show you all of the video. I'll publish it again on my Telegram. But here is the strike. It was recorded over here. The shrapnel went all across the train, damaging the vehicles and the train itself. As you can probably see over here, it was the loading procedure of the train. So again, Russia somehow knows where the Ukrainian trains, Ukrainian convoys are stopped and having their break. It is impossible for them to target the moving train with a gliding bomb. They need to know exactly the coordinates. Plus, the Russian aviation continued to target the Ukrainian supplies before they cut the bridges in Kupiansk direction, so the Ukrainian side made the temporary bridge across the Oskil River, and Russia targeted today that improvised bridge. It's been a while since we had the vehicle losses count, so now we have the report for more than half of the months. Totally, Russia lost 197 of the vehicles, Ukraine lost 87. It shows that even in offense, the Ukrainian army loses 2 times less equipment, so less soldiers, compared to the Russian army. Speaking about the artillery, Russia lost 39 of the artillery systems for this period, Ukraine 8. It really shows how good the Western-made artillery systems are. They are very precise and may hit the targets on the longer range compared to the Russian or the Soviet-made artillery systems. Plus, we have many of the counter-artillery radars that Russia is in lack of. I'm not saying that they don't have those tools, but they have those much less compared to Ukraine, and they are also much less effective compared to the Western-made analog radars. As for the tanks, Russia lost 25 of the units, Ukraine 12, so almost 2 times less. The only parameter where Ukraine has more losses compared to Russia are the unmanned air vehicles, because we use them more often compared to the Russian side. Russia is unable to change the situation. They try to produce more modern weaponry, but still it is much less effective compared to the Western-made weaponry. That is why they compensate it with more infantry, with more meat waves, as everyone calls it. They have already announced the new recruitment to the Russian army. It is obligatory for the Russian young men to serve there. Plus, today they finally admitted that they sent some of the young newcomers to the front lines. They plan to hire 140,000 soldiers. Not all of them are going to be used in Ukraine, but the majority will sign a contract with the Russian army after 1 year of the compulsory prescription finished for them. The top evening news for today is that the United Kingdom will send their soldiers to Ukraine, the instructors. When the war had started, all of the allies evacuated their instructors from Ukraine, but now UK decided to teach Ukrainians in Ukraine. I think it's the good decision. Yet we are out of the number of how many instructors United Kingdom is planning to land in Ukraine. Today there was the big accident on the Ukrainian oil pipeline on the western side of Ukraine close to Ivano-Frankivsk. Yet there is no any information about the cause of that accident. The air sirens were not announced by the time it happened. The interesting article from Deutsche Welle, they say that Crimea could be the final stop for this war and the final battle could happen over there. I would agree with that, because I see the goal orientation of Ukrainian Army Command to push towards Crimea and also to send many of the missiles to cut the Russian supplies. So probably, yes, indeed, the main aims are the Russian bases in Crimea. Because of that, Ukraine will invest $1.5 billion to produce more drones next year. Not just the drones, but the long-range cruise missiles. And Chancellor Scholz will be pushed to deliver the Taurus cruise missiles to Ukraine with a range up to 500 kilometers, and Ukraine will use those on the sovereign territory of Ukraine, including Crimea. The Turkish Baykar company also helps Ukraine a lot. The next year, the new factory will be built in Ukraine, which will produce more sophisticated drones, including the drones for Ukrainian army, with Ukrainian-made engines. 1 year ago, Russia officially took and annexed the Ukrainian territory. Probably it was the first time in history that country takes the territories in their constitutions without taking the actual control over the territory at first. After a while, they even lost the control over Kherson city, which was crucial for this annexed territory of Kherson Oblast. So today they celebrate this anniversary of how they take the territories of the other sovereign country, more on paper than in real life. At the same time, the meeting for honoring the victims of political repressions was cancelled in Moscow because of the COVID restrictions. So for this, they don't have those restrictions, but for honoring the victims of Stalin and other stuff, no. Moreover, they put the Stalin monument and the monuments of other communist leaders at the memorial place of the victims of those men, of those communist regimes and the communist leaders. This happened in Tverskaya Oblast, so Russia started to put lots of the Stalin monuments elsewhere. The memorial for the victims of Gulag, again the Stalin's repressions, the communist repressions, was downed by someone. So Russian officials said that it was downed because of the heavy winds, but later on the locals sent this picture where we may see that the metal rods were just cut. Throughout my quite a short life, if we speak about the historical perspective, Russia already transformed from being the Soviet Union to be some sort of the democratic state, and now they return back to even worse than the Soviet Union. In 1980s, still there was less propaganda and less madness in the Soviet Union that we see nowadays in Russia. This is not the swastika, they are trying to make the number 89 from those people, like 89 regions of Russia, including Kherson Oblast, Luhansk, Donetsk and Zaporizhia, plus Crimea, obviously. All of that stuff isn't legal. The only good stuff about this is that from the history lessons we know that those regimes usually finish abruptly with heavy internal wars, and the dictators are usually captured by their own people. The new country budget for 2024 was taken by the Congress in the United States of America, but for just 45 days. No military help for Ukraine is included in the new military budget, but we already have lots of the stuff on the way. So for the next 45 days, no new military packages will be given for Ukrainian army. However, in the future, obviously, America will transfer more aids to Ukraine. Indeed, currently it's not a huge problem for Ukraine, and many of the programs, the military programs, are already working. For example, for F-16 jets, the training, the other weaponry that will be delivered to Ukraine. So no worries. Russia propaganda already said, oh, it's kaput for the supplies of the military aids to Ukraine, but no, my friends, just wait and Ukraine will have what it needs to fight against the Russian aggression. The temporary budget for the next 45 days helped to avoid the shutdown of the American government. So I'm still quite positive about this stuff. My friends, I'm gonna keep you updated on situation in Ukraine. Don't forget to press the like to this video, and please check out my personal link in the video description just below, where you may find the Atlas VPN Premium with a huge discount that was made especially for my followers. So hurry up to join the club. My friends, I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are, and have a great time.